Hi, welcome to my channel. This is where we fuel mind and feed ambition. If you ever felt there is more life than what you are currently living, you are absolutely right. And you are in the right place. This place is for dreamers, doers, and anyone determined to grow. Today, we are beginning an incredible journey. A journey through one of the most powerful motivational books of all time, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This isn't just a book about making money. It is a blueprint for transforming your mindset, building belief, and creating a life of purpose and achievement. As I read each chapter aloud, I invite you to reflect, take notes, and most importantly, take action. That is the very important thing. Let us grow together, not just richer in wealth, but richer in wisdom, vision, and courage. So now, let's dive in to chapter 1, episode 2, which gives that heading like 3 feet from gold. It's an interesting part, and you can't afford to miss it. Let's dive in. 3 feet from gold. One of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. Every person is guilty of its mistakes at one time or another. R.U. Debbie, who later became one of the most successful insurance salesmen in the country, tells the story of his uncle, who was caught by the gold fever in the gold rush days, and went to dig and grow rich. He had never heard the saying that more gold has been mined from the brains of men than has ever been taken from the earth. It is so deep. He staked a claim and went to work with pick and shovel. The going was hard, but his lust for gold was definite. After weeks of labor, he was rewarded by the discovery of the shining ore. He needed machinery to bring the ore to the surface. Quietly, he covered up the mine, retraced his footsteps to his hometown in Williamsburg, in Maryland, and told his relative and a few neighbors of the strike. They got together money for the needed machinery and had it shipped. The uncle and Debbie went back to the mine. The first car of ore was mined and shipped to the smelter. The return proved they had one of the richest mines in Colorado. A few more cars of that ore would clear debts. Then would come the big killing in profits. Down went the hill, the drifts. Went up the hopes of Debbie and uncle. Then something happened. The vein of gold ore suddenly disappeared. They had come to the end of the rainbow, and the pot of gold was no longer there. They drew on desperately, trying to pick up the vein again. All to no avail. Finally, they decided to quit. They sold the machinery to a junkman for a few $100 and took the train back home. So, wow. Some junk men are damp, but not this one. He called in a mining engineer to look at the mine and do a little calculating. So you see, Debbie and the uncle gave up because the pot of gold got vanished. Do you get it? So they gave up, and the machinery and other things that they bought, they sold it to another man. And that man returned back to the mine that Uncle and Debbie had given up on. This time, he called an engineer to come and do a calculation. Let's see what transpired. The engineer advised that the project had failed because the owners were not familiar with fault lines. His calculations showed that the vein would be founded just 3 feet from where Debbie had stopped drilling. They were almost close to the gold, and they gave up. You see, sometimes when you are struggling in life, there is the saying that when victory is coming nearer, then a whole lot of chaos will come. This is what happened. Let's dive in and see what happened. So, this is exactly where it was found. Let me take that play. His calculating showed that the vein would found just 3 feet from where Debbie had stopped drilling. That is exactly where it was found. You see, they nearly got to this. Now, the junkman took millions of dollars in all from the mine because he knew enough to seek expert counsel for giving up. Most of the money which went into the machinery was procured through the effort of R.U. Debbie, who was then a very young man. The money came from his relatives and neighbors because of their faith in him. He paid back every dollar of it, although he was years in doing so. Long afterwards, Mr. Debbie reoccupied his lost money times over when he made the discovery that desired can be transmuted into gold. The discovery came after he went into business of selling life insurance. Okay, the all didn't work, so now he's going to another discovery. Let's see what happened. Remembering that he lost a huge fortune because he stopped 3 feet from gold, Debbie profited by the experience in his chosen work. You see, sometimes giving something a try is better than not trying at all. Let's see what happened. His simple method was to say to himself, I stopped 3 feet from gold, but I will never stop because men say no when I ask them to buy insurance. He owes his seekability to the lesson he learned from his quitability in the gold mining business. Before success comes to most people, please pay attention to this part. This is the most important part of all this. Success comes to most people. They are sure to meet with much temporary defeat and perhaps some failure. When faced with defeat, the easiest and the most logical thing to do is to quit. This is exactly what the majority of people do. More than 500 of most successful people American has ever known to the altar, their greatest success came just one step beyond the point at which defeat had overtaken them. Failure is a trickster. Failure can trick you in so many ways. You need to be alert. So failure is a trickster with a keen sense of irony and cunning. It takes great delight in tripping one up when success is almost within reach. So when the battle is getting harder, the battle is getting stronger and deeper, then you must know that victory is at hand. That is what you should learn from this. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to leave a comment on what you have learned from this 3 feet from gold. Please subscribe and support my page so that we share the story to the world. Those who don't have time to sit and read, those who don't have time to go and buy the book, here I will give you a full edition of the book from A to Z. So please subscribe to my channel, like and comment. And I'll meet you next time on episode 3, a filthy saint lesson in persistence. That is the next episode in chapter 1. The 3rd episode in chapter 1. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.